Good morning, Grant. I'm Patrick Keefe. Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice. So, Grant, I'm here to talk to you today about any previous fishing experiences you've had, and I want to learn how those were for you, and just all about that process. So, if you'd like to tell me about any past experiences you've had.
Well, actually, I went with maybe 3 or 4 friends. We went down to the Florida Keys. We went down there. I'm not a big boat guy, big fish guy. At least I wasn't, or so to say. We went down. We actually caught my first 2 fish down there in Florida Keys. We were just visiting. I was visiting a friend who lives down there, and he's really big. He's always on a boat.
Yeah.
Anytime he's on a boat. And I caught my first 2 fish, and it was pretty fun. Pretty fun.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. So, and since I was 12 years old, I have been working on charter fishing boats, and from small boats to big big boats taking up to 25 to 30 passengers at a time, and I love fishing and everything that has to do with it. And so, what I've done recently is I've created and developed an app that connects its user, which are targeting people who are charter fishing, to restaurants in their area that will cook their fish for them. And so what I'd like to ask you today is, when you guys were down in the Keys and you guys came back with that fish, what did you guys do with it? Did you try cooking it yourselves, or were there restaurants in that area that offered to cook your fish for you?
I think actually, if I'm not mistaken, one of my friends, the guy who lives down there, I believe he actually, because they cleaned it at the place and then took it back. Yeah, I think he actually cooked it himself.
Right.
But I think somebody else might have cooked it a little bit better. Cause
Yeah.
I do like eating fish, even though I'm not on boats all the time, so I'm not catching fish.
Yeah.
But I kind of do know what a fish should,
Right.
like a quality fish tastes like.
Exactly. And so it doesn't get more fresh than that. You guys worked for those fish. You went out there. For, was it a 6-hour trip or?
Yeah, it was pretty long.
Pretty long trip,
I
right?
just know I got my first 2 fish. So.
Yeah. And so, you're out there working and you caught that fish, and there's nothing more satisfying than eating that fish that you worked for and caught that day. And so, like you said, your friend cooked that fish, and for a first timer, cooking fish is kind of challenging. There's multiple ways. There's frying it, grilling it, you can blacken it. There's different kinds of ways, and certain type of fish are better cooked in certain type of ways.
Right.
And so, and that way, you went fishing that day and cooked it that day. That's extremely fresh. You can't beat that.
Right.
And what I'm hearing is that, when your buddy cooked it, it was all right. It was okay. But imagine if you were to take that fish to a restaurant where you have these chefs that know how to cook that fish and have all this past experience of cooking fish. And what if you could take that fish right after you get off the boat to a restaurant, sit down, have some cold drinks, relax after being on the water for so long. You guys got up pretty early that day, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and in that sun, you're fishing, you're working, you're tired. You don't want to, go to the grocery store, find a recipe, buy the ingredients, and then let alone try to cook the fish. And so restaurants are trained; they know how to do it. And in areas like that, in those coastal cities, there's tons of seafood restaurants. And so, if at the time, if you were able to connect to the restaurant when you're in the Keys, and have that restaurant cook your fish for you, is that something that you'd have been interested in?
Possibly. I know you said the app was free
right.
to download and everything like that. How much is it for the whole process of giving the fish to the restaurant?
So every restaurant is different, but the typical rate is about $12 to $14 a person.
So it's a person?
Per person.
It's not like with the fish and everything?
Right, no, so you bring in whatever kind of fish, however much fish, and it's $12 to $14 a person. And the restaurants offer different sides, and of course you can get drinks. You can order additional items, But for the occasion of bringing in your fish that you caught, the restaurants typically charge between $12 and $14 a person. So it's a pretty sweet deal. That way you don't have to worry about, keeping the fish in your refrigerator, when you're going to cook it, how you're going to cook it, cooking for your friends. The restaurant takes care of all of that. And as a deckhand, and my previous working experience for the last 7 or 8 years, I've seen so much fish go to waste. And as someone who makes a living off of that, it's very tough to see what we work so hard for go to waste. Because fish is a very delicate meat. A day in the fridge, 2 days, that's pushing it. And, there's nothing that beats that fresh fish. And so, have you ever thought of traveling again to coastal cities and charter fishing again?
Oh, I'm definitely going back after my last success story. I told you about those fish, so I'm definitely going to make a trip back.
Yeah. So, when you guys went charter fishing that day, and you had that fresh, clean fish, and you guys ate it. It was very satisfying, right? You guys worked, like I said earlier, you worked for that fish, and that experience in itself of catching and eating that fish, it's very, very satisfying.
Mm-hmm. We crashed afterwards. We were out there on the boat so long, but it was definitely nice to sit back, finally eat the fish, and really I just crashed after sleep.
Mm-hmm. And so, the app, by the way, is called Hook and Cook. So it's kind of catchy. You go out, you catch, you hook the fish, and then you come back and you get it cooked for you. And so the way it works is, say you guys are going fishing tomorrow, and you guys are leaving at 6 a.m. and you're going to get back at 12. And you guys are feeling pretty confident. The weather window is great. You guys are going to catch some fish. What you can do with this app is you can schedule ahead. So it'll recognize your location, and it'll just give you a list of all the restaurants in your area at the time, and you can compare the prices, and you can compare the sides, and also the locations of those restaurants. So depending on where you're staying, you might want to have a restaurant that's closer to you, but you can also kind of factor in the prices and the sides. So if you guys want coleslaw and hush puppies and not French fries and so you can kind of factor in everything, and it gives you the ability to compare what restaurant you'd like to go to. And so like I said, you can, once you find one, the app will connect you with the push of a button to that restaurant, and you can set up a time. So let's say you get off the boat tomorrow at 12:30. You can have a reservation booked today for 4 o'clock tomorrow, or earlier, 2, 3, 4 o'clock. That way, you get off the boat, clean up, and you go right to that restaurant. You sit down with your friends, you enjoy a cold, drink or two, have your fish brought out to you, however you want it cooked, and you sit back and relax at no effort and enjoy this freshly caught fish.
So you have all the restaurants in Florida,
right?
So they're available everywhere.
Right now, we're currently focusing on the Panhandle of Florida.
Okay.
Michigan, this is a new startup, and so I'll talk about Destin, Florida. It has the largest fishing fleet in North America, and every summer more and more people are coming to Destin. And this challenge that you guys faced when you were in the Keys the first time is a common challenge that tourists and travelers face whenever they're charter fishing. They're staying in hotels and condos. They're tired after the trips, which you know about.
Right.
You're very tired, and as a deckhand, we clean these fish for our customers, and we want them to enjoy that fish. But some people, they don't have a cooler, they don't have access to a refrigerator, that's very close. They don't have a grill. They may not, it'd be much easier for them to simply connect with the restaurant and have that restaurant cook that fish for them, and eliminate the factor of potentially messing up the fish or cooking it the wrong way, and saving yourself some time. So
Do you have the app on your phone?
I do currently have the app on my phone. Would you like to see it?
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Okay. So it's a very quick and easy app to download. You can get on any Apple or Android device. So upon opening the app, you select the date and time. So let's say tomorrow you wanted to eat at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You press next, and then a list of restaurants in your area will pop up.
Wow.
And so you can see here, you can scroll through, and so let's say you want one of these. You can click on it, see a little background information, the hours of operation, the sides they offer to cook, the ways they offer to cook it, and their location, their distance from you currently, and of course the price per person.
Wow.
Once you find that restaurant, you click on it, the one that you want to go with, and press contact this restaurant, and immediately it'll start calling that restaurant, and you can set up that reservation within 5 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, and like I said, it's free to download, and there's no sign up required. You can start using it immediately once you download it, and we are looking to expand it. Like I said, we're in the Panhandle right now, but we'd love to expand it into the Keys. So the next time you guys travel down there,
Oh yeah.
you can use it and get set up and have no problem again. And then we're trying to go from North Carolina all the way to Texas with this, and eliminate this challenge, this recurring challenge that charter fishing customers are looking to face.
You said hook and
Hook and cook.
Hook and cook.
Hook and cook. You hook it, and the restaurant's cooking.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah. So it's very, very simple.
So I can go download it now?
Yes. If you go to the App Store and type in hook and cook,
Okay.
Hook, letter N, and cook.
Oh, I found it. That was quick. Oh, wow. I downloaded it.
Yep. And like I said, right now, we're a startup, so I'd love for you to travel to Destin and be one of our first users, and then let me know how the experience goes. I'd love to hear about it and what you have to say. If you have any problems, and I think that'd be very beneficial to me and beneficial to you as well.
Thank you. I'm definitely going to use your app next time I go down there.
Really?
Now that I'm a pro fisher.
Yeah.
Now, so,
Awesome. All right.
Yeah, I'll make sure I make it happen.
So you got it. You downloaded it, and you're gonna use it.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Grant.
Thank you.